so that you're not having to use the camera in the phone. If you are a professional, if a video professional, you should never be using your phone. It doesn't have an optical image zoom. It doesn't have an optical zoom, and it's just the quality. You know, they're made for home movies, things like that. Professionals shouldn't be using that. If you're serious about your YouTube videos or your social media videos, you shouldn't be using that. So you want to be able to use an external camera. And now you could buy something like this. Now they've discontinued these. This is a Teradek Video. And what this does, it mounts right on top of the camera, has an HDMI input. You can put a USB 4G dongle in here to use 4G. You can turn on the hotspot on your phone, connect this to the internet, and this will literally stream straight to YouTube, Twitch, or some other things like that. This cost $700 when it first came out. They have been discontinued. And right now, the Video Go, I believe, is the one they have out. It's $1,000. So it's a lot of money to be able to stream online. So I'm going to show you a cheaper way of doing that. Now, just full disclosure, because I know people are going to ask, no, you cannot do this with an iPhone. Apple they stymie innovation. They have a closed system with their iOS operating system. You can't do it. Android is an open system, and there's just far more that you can do if you're a creative professional with an Android phone that you cannot do with an iPhone, and this is one of them. So just going to briefly go over what you're going to need and how this is done, and we're going to walk it through, and then I'll show you a sample of how I was walking around the house shooting video, streaming it through my Android phone. So let's take a look first of all at what we need. So obviously you need a camera that has an HDMI output, and I have a Sony NX5U. It's basically a professional camera. It's what you would probably see a lot of the news MMJs using today. It shoots AVC HD. It's a good camera, and this camera I've had for a very long time, and it has an HDMI output. I suggest that if you're doing anything professional, that you're going to have a camera that has XLR audio inputs so that you can use professional mics, because you don't really want to use the microphone on the camera. I mean, it's just not very good quality. So you need a wireless set, shotgun mic, things like that. So I'm demonstrating this with the NX5U. The next thing you're going to need is an HDMI cable, preferably because it's just a short little run. You just want a short little 1.5 foot HDMI cable. If you're using a smaller camera, you might need like micro HDMI to HDMI. So whatever you need there, but you need an HDMI cable. The second thing you're going to need is this little thing here. This is called a UVC adapter, camera capture card, basically UVC capture card. Now, not all capture cards are created equal. I have this more expensive Camlink 4K, and one of the things you'll notice about it is that it is USB 3.0. It will stream 4K video. If you have a 4K camera streaming through free OBS software through your laptop, it will do that. But it will not work for this setup, and the reason is the phone really can't handle the data speeds, and I've noticed it's just glitchy and it doesn't work. So what I found was this is another UVC capture card. It is more generic. It comes from China. It doesn't even have a brand name, and the link is in the description if you want to order it from Amazon. I think it was like $45, so it's really cheap, whereas the Camlink 4K, close to $200. So there's a difference. Now what you'll notice with this dongle is that it is USB 2.0. That's important. Now this capture card can only stream up to 1080p. It cannot do 4K, but that's okay because that's not really what we want. And when you're streaming on the go using your mobile data, you probably don't want to be streaming more than 1280 by 720 anyway, 720 HD, because the higher the pixels, the higher the resolution, the more data you're going to use. And once you start getting up to the max data load from your plan or the area you're in, you're going to start to see buffering, glitching, things like that, which we don't want that. So what I found with this setup, 720p is the perfect resolution, and it comes out pretty good in the stream. The next thing you're going to need Now this phone I'm using is an LG G6, so it's an older phone. It's not a new one. So if you're wondering about some older model phones, this one has a USB-C connector. That's where it charges. And this is also important because the next piece of equipment you're going to need is a USB 3.0 to USB-C adapter. And you can see it right here. It's just an adapter. And that is the equipment you're going to need to do this. And then finally, on your Android phone, you're going to need to download the app USB Camera Pro. Now there is a free version, but I would suggest going ahead and paying a few dollars. It's less than $10. I'm not sure the exact what it costs right now, but it's worth downloading and install that on your phone. So after that, what we're going to go through now is how to hook it all up, how you set it all up. So if you take a look right here at the NX5, you'll see the HDMI cable is plugged into the back here, which runs up here to the UVC dongle. So the HDMI plugs into the dongle. The dongle then plugs into the USB-C to USB 3.0 adapter, and that plugs into the smartphone into the LG G6. And that is basically it. You're just kind of creating a pathway for the video to get into the phone. And then obviously I have the phone mounted right here on the cold shoe in the front. Typically I would have it mounted here in the back because I would have a light, an LED light in the front, and I would have it back here and I would have it angled so I could see it. But that's really not important. The important part is that this is your setup. It doesn't matter what camera you have, HDMI to the dongle, the UVC capture card, to the USB adapter that goes into the phone. That is the most important part. That is what you need. So after that, let's take a look at the USB-C or the USB Camera Pro app, and I'm going to walk you through that real quick because there is some setup here. Now, in full disclosure, what you're going to be doing is setting up a manual stream to an Rtmp server. Now, if you have YouTube, then you go to the stream. You can go to Stream Classic, or in there you're going to find the streaming URL under the manual settings, and then under that you're going to have a stream key. Those are the two things you're going to need. And then YouTube,
we are live.
You can click to unveil
my friends.
The stream key for up to 10 seconds.
Just a quick test.
Exactly as it is with the dashes.
Got to try and fine-tune this phone for when I leave the UK.
Now, it's very, very important.
Going to talk to somebody about buying a brand new S21 in a minute.
To anybody, because anybody that has the stream key can live stream straight to your YouTube channel. And you know, with hackers and the things, you know, who knows what they could stream to your channel. And if it's a lot of inappropriate material, you could end up getting your channel completely removed by YouTube. So you need to be very careful not to give that information to anybody. So once you have everything set up, before you turn on the camera and everything, go ahead and disconnect your phone and go here to the USB camera app, and you're going to open that up. And in the top right, you're going to see three little dots, and you press that. And we're going to go to Settings. Now in here, we'll go to General Settings. And we're going to scroll down. Most of these will already be set like this. I haven't really changed anything. I kind of leave it as is. You can set it to where as soon as the camera pops up, as soon as it starts seeing a signal, it automatically starts streaming. I don't do that. I don't like that. I want to have control of that. So let's go back. And let's scroll down here, 4G size limit, leave that on. Loop recording. Now this app does allow for recording into to your phone. So you can record what you're streaming, and it will go right to your camera roll or your photos. You set the path, SD card, USB disk storage path. That you want to go in there and navigate and set it so that any recorded videos are going to your photos or your album, things like that. And for it's pretty self-explanatory to walk through there. Enable microphone, that is off because that would enable the microphone on the phone itself, and that's not the microphone we want to use. Preferred video resolution, that is where if you click that, you want to set that to 1280 by 720. Any higher than that and you're going to probably run into some problems. Use the hardware decoder, turn that on, turn off the bypass. Let's see here. Enable UVC audio input, make sure that is on. Audio playback, make sure that is on. And then you want, if you are in the United States, you want to use the NTSC. If you're outside the United States, rather your PAL or CCAM, you want to set that to what you want. Composite video 1. Enable audio input, yes, through the HDMI. Audio playback, yes. Video overlay. So I don't have this set, but you can set the video overlay. So you can have text over top your video when you stream. You can have a logo. That's all done in there so that you can actually brand your videos, because especially if you were, say you were at breaking news and you were shooting something, if you don't have that turned on, if you don't have some kind of watermark on it, then people can just grab it and steal it and use it, and you don't want that to happen. So depending on what you're shooting, what you're streaming live, if you're worried about somebody stealing your content, maybe put a bug or an overlay. We'll scroll down. The rest of these are off. Use hardware encoder, that is on. Custom bitrate, I stay away from that. I just kind of let the phone do its thing. And then here you're going to get down to push URL and Rtmp stream key. Now, you're not going to manually enter those right here, and I'll tell you why here in just a second, because you want the setting Rtmp settings manager. And if you click and open that, initially there will be nothing there. And what you have to do is you want to add the title of your channel there. And under Rtmp Push, that is going to be the URL to YouTube if you're using YouTube. And that is the same for everybody. And then Rtmp stream key, that is where you're going to enter the information for your key based on what YouTube has given you and that you've written down. You add everything, the dash marks and everything. And then that should get you set up to where on the screen you're going to have your channels. You can add more than one, but that is how you manually set up to stream to YouTube. And you can see I have 3 of them here, and I am actually blurring out the information because my stream key is there and I don't want to show it to anybody. So, but once you have that set, you can go back. Now all your settings are correct for the stream. And so the next thing we're going to want to do is, now you want to set your phone up on your camera. You want to hook your phone up and mount it to your camera. I'm going to do that real quick. And then at this point, you're going to turn your camera on, and you are going, it'll pop up once you've connected USB Camera Pro. Allow the app USB Camera Pro to access the USB device. You can hit it as default, but I always just leave it this way so I know I'm connected. So I'm going to hit OK. Okay, again. So what you're going to see now is that you'll see your picture with your phone or with your camera. And so what you're going to see on the screen here, if this little 3 lines on the bottom right, press that. Now you can take a picture, you can record video straight to your phone, or the IP camera server. Now this is how we're going to stream. So you're actually going to press that button and turn it on. It's going to say warning using data because I'm streaming through my data. It does use a lot of data, be aware of that. Click OK. And then on the bottom right, you're going to see this little pink writing with a little box, Rtmp Push. Now, this is what we're using. The rest of this RTSP server, you're not going to be using that. You're going to be using the Rtmp. So we're going to turn that on, and it's going to give you a choice of your channels. If you just have one, that's where we set up in the Rtmp defaults manager. We set up our channels, and you might just have one, or you could have 2 or 3. And then what you're going to do is you're going to select the channel you want to live stream to, click it, the Rtmp button, and it says push started. So right now I am live streaming to my channel, which is Mike's World. I'm live streaming to it right now. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because I don't want to stream anything there. But so that is it. And so once you see that has pushed, in about 10 seconds, your video is going to start live. You're going to be live. And so, and to show you an idea of what it looks like, take a look at this video that I streamed using my 4G data, walking around my house with my son and some ducks I saw in the front yard. So take a look at the quality. just walking around live streaming with camera hooked up to my Android phone. Huh? Testing the camera out. What are you doing?
I'm trying to climb that tree.
You gonna climb that tree? Got your climbing gear on?
Yes, but someone has to try that.
I think it's a little bit too wet to be out here climbing. Don't you?
Well, could you like strap this onto both of these onto a branch?
Mm-hmm.
Like one goes right here, and we hook that one onto that one that's tied in the tree. So
It's kind of getting dark out here, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't care. I love climbing.
Okay. So there you go. That you can only stream to those if you have if it has a manual Rtmp setup. I don't do anything on Facebook. All my live streaming is exclusively on YouTube. I don't use Twitch or anything like that, so you're just going to have to go research those platforms if you want to stream there. But as far as streaming to YouTube, this works really, really well. So again, everything you need, the parts, minus the phone obviously, is in the description. There's links to where you can buy this stuff on Amazon or other places. And so yeah, this is the setup, so you can live stream, you can walk around. Works really well, and it's cheaper than having to spend $1,000 on a Teradek to mount to your camera. So give it a try. Again, I apologize, this does not work for iPhone. If you get the wrong one, it's not going to work. And I can't guarantee that this is going to work on every Android phone. You're going to have to play around with it. But I would think that it's probably going to work on most of them because, especially newer phones, I've been waiting to get the LG G9. The COVID-19 has kind of shut down production and stuff like that. It was expected to come out in March or April. Who knows when it's going to come out. So this phone's a little bit... shots and more professional looking. So that's it for that. I hope you guys have learned something from this. I hope you can use this, and thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Comment, and like this video. And again, we'll see you next time. Take care.